there's some real representation, I think, or should be this year. And I'll tell you what, if there isn't, then it kind of just shows where Gatland's at with his head.
In terms of the Lions Tour 2013, did you feel hard done by not making that squad? Personally, and we're not just saying this because you're on the pod, we think you were hard done by Warren Gatland that year.
Yeah, I mean, looking back, I think I probably was. You know, at that point, I had literally done everything I could have done. You know, if at any point it was going to happen, it had to be that year.
Yeah,
I was in the dream team every year. I was top try scorer every year. I just became player of the year, voted by all the other players in the league. There's literally not a more honourable accolade you can achieve in my mind. And I was, I was on fire for Scotland. I think if you look at the other wingers in that squad that went that year, the competition was pretty nuts. Alex Cuthbert was really good for Wales. Tommy Bowe was great.
Yeah.
Who were the other guys?
George North started in the other wing.
I mean, George North, he's just played 100 games for Wales. He's one of the best wingers around. What did hurt me is that when we went to South Africa, I went to South Africa with Scotland instead. There was a couple of injuries, and instead of flying me in, he flew Christian Wade in. Christian Wade got picked up in the first game he played by, I think, Falau, thrown to the side of the pitch as if it was a rag doll, and obviously never played again. He was there to cover, I think it was Tommy Bowe's injury, maybe. Mm-hmm. But that kind of hurt, I think.
Yeah.
Having done everything I did and to not then call me up. And, I think, and he's done that again, not personally, but if you look at the last Lions tour, I was in Australia at the time. They had a couple of injuries. They were obviously in New Zealand. And just because for ease, he had the Wales team, I think they were in Samoa, and he called 4 players in to that Lions tour who ended up playing a midweek test, some of which we either had never heard of before or we've now since never seen again. It's stuff like that in my mind devalues that jersey, and that was kind of more my gripe with that, not the fact that it was the whole Welsh team playing that tour, because Wales were good at the time, but Scotland have always been underrepresented, and I think he probably looked at me and just saw my defensive weaknesses and go, well, I'm not taking it. That's it. It's easy as that, because it can't have been anything.
You hear quite a lot that Gatland kind of comes into all the camps kind of during the Six Nations on the year of Alliance tour and maybe speaks to a few players. Does that actually happen, or did you ever have contact from him?
I mean, with Scotland, he used to just stand next to the pitch on his phone and then have lunch with us and bugger off essentially. But yeah, no, he does come in.
There really wasn't many that year from Scotland. I think Richie Gray and Hogg maybe. Sean Maitland.
Richie Gray.
Maitland went.
Yeah, Maitland went.
He might. Yeah.
Maitland went. Maitland went, and Richie Gray went, who ended up on the bench for one of the tests. I think that was literally the only representation.
Yeah.
Test from a Scotland perspective.
No, because
if you look at that, if you look at this year and the way Scotland have been doing, I'm excited. I think, obviously Hamish Watson is in my mind the first name on that team sheet. Hoggy will be there. He's been outstanding for years on end now. God, who else will go? Xander Ferguson maybe. Roser might go. I think Duhan van der Merwe should go. I think he's been absolutely brilliant. Who else? Maybe Gray, the younger Gray brother. I don't know. There's some real representation, I think, or should be this year. And I'll tell you what, if there isn't, then it kind of just shows where Gatland's at with his head.
No, we kind of did. Our last podcast was previewing our Lions team and stuff, and we had a good few in there, and we were saying that we really just hope he picks players that are in form rather than players that have done it for him in the past.
Yeah, especially this year when you consider how bad England have done. There's questions over Mako and Billy Vunipola. Yes, fair enough. They're in the past, phenomenal players, but on form, they're not even gonna they're gonna be playing like Bedford Blues or something on Friday night. Like that's not enough to prepare you. So
it's brutal, man.
yeah, we hope that Scotland will be more represented. They
You
definitely
think
deserve
so?
it
You think so?
this year.
Yeah, let's wait and see.
Mm-hmm.